I got Mr. Finch here of Finch Filtration Innovative Systems. How did I do?
Rubbish.
No, it's not right.
You've had plenty of time to practice.
So what's the I for then?
Innovation.
I said innovative.
No, you said innovative.
Well, same difference.
No, it's not. It's completely different.
Northerners are so miserable.
I can't believe you. Just,
so miserable.
Time you've had to practice on that, you've still not got it right. You need to go back to school, have some lessons.
My life is a school lesson, I'm telling you now. So we got Andy down here today, just doing a bit of tweak on my recycle arrow, and we've been talking on the phone, Andy, that it's been, believe it or not, tomorrow is 3 months since this has been running.
Yeah.
And 3 months of flown, eh?
Yeah, it's gone mad, isn't it?
Yeah, really crazy. And but the system, and I'm saying this, it's been running fantastic. So Andy's only here just doing a bit of tweak for me. There's nothing wrong with it. And I decided while he was here, let's change, also change out the membrane. So in that way, if COVID gets worse, as it is sort of looking, at least I don't have to worry over Christmas time of an RO membrane going. And that's the beauty about his recycled system as well. Andy does clean these 40/40 membranes. So a clean membrane, Andy, is what, 70 quid? Is that?
To clean it, yeah.
Yeah, 70 quid. Yeah. And if you were to buy a brand new one, what
176.
Right, so it really makes sense to clean it, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
And,
I mean, this doesn't need, as you just said, it doesn't need cleaning.
No, it doesn't need cleaning.
Really, it's just if the situation gets worse with the old virus thing, and you're stuck, then, you know.
I don't
know.
know.
I said I'd take it away and I brought another one back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's still working.
Oh no, it's Andy, it's working fantastic. I mean, you've seen the pond earlier. What was your because you saw the fish pre-RO and you've seen them now.
There was junk pre-RO and there's still junk now. No. I mean you can tell.
Yeah.
Skin and we've said it before.
Yeah.
The skin looks really, really nice, and the amount of food you're putting in.
Yeah, it's a kilo of food.
Kilo a day. Yeah. I know I was putting that in before.
Yeah.
But my bank balance rejected that amount of food, so I'm having to cut back a bit. But yeah. They do look spot on.
Yeah.
The water looks good.
Yeah.
And if you're putting a kilo in a day, and that you've got water parameters what you've got.
Yeah. The TDS of 150, 180 sometimes, but
pH of 7.1.
Hang on, about 6.85.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, and you've still got a KH of half to 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything's going well. The system works well.
Well, I think I'm going to put you up for the Innovators Award, BBC Innovators Award, because the thing about the Recycle Arrow that actually Mike Snaden, if anybody's seen the podcast, I should have called it Pondcast, shouldn't I?
You should have.
Yeah, but the podcast that Mike and I did. Mike did say on there that Recycle Arrow will change the hobby for a lot of people. Not only the water saving aspect, but also the electricity heating saving, because we're not putting in chilled water into the pond, we're putting in same temperature into the ponds, you know.
And what a lot of people don't realise is like in summertime, membranes, optimum performance, when you see graphs of membranes, all these are done in a lab. So 23, 24 degrees when they're tested, when you give the amount of water they're capable of doing, well, your ponds are heated, so RO always works better on a heated pond anyway. It's different to when you're using mains. Mains comes out of the ground probably 12 degrees, and you're trying to get a membrane to produce a load of water. Well, this is all...
Well, I mean, you think about it, I'm getting 6 litres roughly of RO water.
Yeah, you're not getting
if I was putting that from a tap, that will chill the pond.
Yeah.
You know?
6 litres of water.
Would chill the pond easily.
Yeah.
But no, it's working fantastic and I have no complaints. So that's why you're back. And I also got a bit of catalytic carbon from you as well. And a resin vessel to put in there. So I'm really wanted to thank you publicly on the camera as well for all your work and the stuff that you've put into this. And, you know, I know a lot of people may think that I'm just doing this because you're here, or there's some people like that, but really it works fantastic, and I expect when I get my bill next month for the water that it should be a lot less than what it was before.
That'll be interesting because people are sceptical. I mean, like if you was putting 5 litres, just say for argument, like say 5 litres of purified tap water in your pond, and you went something like this, the savings will be massic. From putting 5 litres, you're only putting probably a litre to litre and a half. So work that out in a day. Eating costs and savings. It all works well, really.
So we're just doing a little bit of tidy up on the RO system and then changing out the membrane, and I'll get some more shots of that in a minute. So we just remove one of these. We're going to put in a clean membrane in, and this membrane probably is fine, to be fair, but I decided to get it changed. Me being me, I want to make sure it's running optimal, just in case we want to lock down or anything like that. At least I got a membrane in there, nice clean one going in. Alright, Andy, well, you've been here for a couple of hours, really. We spent more time talking and joking like we were schoolboys on half term than anything else, but we've replaced the membrane, which is why you were here. Not that it needed replacing, but me being me, I wanted it doing just so that it's fresh and new. And we're getting, tell us what we're getting on waste and good water, all those things.
Alright, so we're getting 6.6 litres of pure water and 1.13 of waste. Litres per minute. So
so this is your brainchild here running, as it were. What do you think so far? I mean, it's been 3 months. Tomorrow it'll be 3 months. It's been hung in this pond running. And you've seen the fish, you've seen the water. The KH is currently at 15 milligrams, and I guess in the pH is just around 7.5 at the moment. Well, 7.05. I should say. I tend to run this KH at 6.85 with a KH of 10 milligrams. I've actually have KH in here that when you make a drop in it, goes straight to yellow. So basically there's no KH sometimes. Can you just go over with people the myth of a crash? Most people would say, oh, aren't you nervous? You're going to get a crash. You're going to crash the pond. Can you sort of explain to people how a crash happens and when it happens and if it happens, all that sort of thing?
Yeah, I've been asked that quite a few times. The pH crash doesn't happen overnight. It's not like somebody's flicking a switch from your pond's okay and then it's a crash. It doesn't happen like that. All it is an erosion of pH and KH. So it's got to be a period of time where you've not changed any water, or you've got loads of fish and you're not changing enough water, and the carbonic acid produced by the fish through feeding erodes the KH. KH is a buffer for pH, and then when you've got no KH, it will go to 0, and then it'll start dropping off, and the pH will follow that, and it'll drop off until it can't sustain itself anymore, and then it will be a complete crash. But that's not going to happen overnight. It's a period of time. The myth about pH crashes, it doesn't happen just like that, like flicking a switch. And you obviously, if you're running RO, you've got to be mindful that you are putting in water that's devoid of any minerals or KH. So you need to look at that by adding tap water to your mix sort of thing, and creating a KH of 1 or 2, so your pond runs at 1. Obviously carbonic acid is going to erode the KH a little bit, so you may have to buffer it. If you use bicarb, that's another way of buffering it.
Well, like that tank up there that I have.
Yeah, that's a fail safe.
Yeah, that
you're buffering with bicarb as well. If you was to turn up your tap water, then you probably wouldn't need that. But you're aiming to get as close to 7 and a KH that's 0 to, well, half, say, or should I say, to 1. And that's there in case something drastic happens.
It would let it in,
And one of the timers don't open the valve to open the water, and there's a fail safe there. And I said to you when I put this on, this will do what it'll do, and it has done what it's done. It has done it. All right, I've come today, you wanted the membrane changing because the pressure had gone up. I mean,
slightly,
the pressure had just gone above 6 bar, and it gone a bit further than that. But I'm running mine at a PSI of 10 bar.
Yeah.
The pipe work's rated to 16 bar,
Right.
and mine's still running.
Yeah.
Obviously, the membrane probably want cleaning.
Yeah.
And I haven't cleaned them for, I don't know how many months now, I just can't remember. This would have probably gone a bit longer.
Yeah.
No problem at all, but because of COVID, you asked me to come over because you just don't know whether we're going to get locked down.
Yeah.
And if you get locked down for a period of time, then you're going to be stuck with a
Yeah.
system that you can't run.
Yeah.
So we've changed the membrane out. It's took, well, you've seen how long it took.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been messing about, we've been talking.
Oh, we've been doing a lot of stupid stuff.
So yeah, I mean, you do that sort of thing because that's what you do. If I'd just come here and changed it, I've had to take the whole membrane housing off the wall because normally you take the membrane out of the housing and leave the housing in place. We haven't got the space, so it's just unclipped.
Yeah.
It's only, what is it, 4 cap screws, 3 unions, it's off the wall, it's outside. Split it, you see how easy it was to split it.
Easy, yeah.
Membranes come out, another one put back in, and that's one what we initially set up this RO system, and I stupidly was a bit greedy with the waste.
Yeah, yeah.
That membrane went away, I cleaned that membrane, I put in a storage solution, been sat in my garage ever since.
Yeah.
And when the day come, when you wanted a membrane changing, you've got spare to change. So that's been, we've used that one. Yeah. I'll have to take yours back. Yours has got your name on it now on a storage vessel. It's only a piece of plastic tube.
Plastic tube, yeah.
With 2. That one's got 1 rubber end cap on, and that'll be cleaned and stored in that solution to the next time we want one.
Yeah.
We've only changed 1 membrane because it's only the bottom one that takes the hit anyway. Because that's working the hardest. Yeah. The system works well.
Yeah. Well, with 6 litres of water going in, RO water going in on this pond, it's gonna improve things even. Well, can you even improve what's already there?
I mean, the time, if you was to turn this on 24/7, I suppose you could get it better. But what's the point?
What's the point? You'd be wasting a lot of it.
Yeah, you achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
You come from where you come. Yeah. With your pond parameters first off. It's down to where you want it. The fish are all happy. You're chucking loads of food in there.
Yeah. Well, put it this way: on a Palin test, I did an ammonia test on the pond, and it just came up with 2 ROs, which means it's so low that even a kilo of food, the Palin test can't pick up any ammonia whatsoever.
Well, this is removing ammonia and everything else as well. It's just polishing the water up.
Yeah. And that's part of the point I was saying. With the recycle RO, it's actually cleaning the water that goes into the pond, and actually it's better than tap water going into the pond because there's no metals, there's no nothing. It's pure water. In that way.
And it's one of those. I mean, I said before, I have people that want recycling systems, and I've got to apologise on camera for not getting them done. Yeah. But as I said to you, I've been busy with the other side of the business where it's carbon and big blues and purifiers, and there's only me, and I'm doing packaging and boxing.
You're doing everything.
I'm doing everything. I'm a one-man band, and I'm doing everything.
And then also you've got a poorly missus at home as well.
Not very well at all. So I'm a bit restricted at the moment, and I said to you, I'm going to start this next week. Yeah. I've got all the gear. I've got no idea. And I'm going to start building.
No. Don't talk yourself down. Don't talk yourself down. You can do it.
And as I said, I can't. I'm sorry, I've let people down, but I've got to do everything. So I'll get round to people. Just bear with me, and you'll get the service when I get it all fitted, as I've done with you. Yeah. Any problems, just get in touch.
Yeah. And I must say that when I started this journey with this pond back in July, people could look at the videos. When we tested the water first, the TDS was 460, KH was 6, the GH was 12. pH was 8, something like that. Now, you can hardly get a KH reading. TDS 150 now with feeding a kilo of food. And I'm really, really happy. pH is 6.85 to 7. And I'm really happy. The fish look better for it. And more than that, my water bill should look better for it as well.
Yeah, that'll be interesting when you get your water bill and just see what it is, because there's no way you can be using the same amount of water what you were using before. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And as Mark said, it's like we're coming up to winter time now. If you've got, say yours holding at 20 degrees, feeding, as people do sometimes, feed up to Christmas. Yeah. and you've got a temperature reading of 20 in your pond, and you used to put tap water in at 5 litres per minute, or 6 litres as we are now, 6 litres a minute, just a tap water at a temperature of 12 degrees, so that's going to chill the pond down.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not doing that.
No. Yeah, so it's Monday the 19th. Beautiful fall day, or autumn. Forget I'm in England. Today we got these LED lights being fitted just above my head on that side and that side. There's two being fitted now. This is a south facing garden, so I do get tons of sunlight. So these lights are just literally for the winter. Wouldn't need them any other time because I'm going to feed heavily all the way till end of November. So the pond is being held at 23 Celsius with a kH of 10 milligrams, which is about 17 milligrams is a kH of 1. So I run in a kH of 10, maybe sometimes down to 5. The pH is about 6.85 to about 7, or just below 7. For me that's good. I was watching a YouTube today of a guy saying that you should keep your kH at 6 to 8, and he's buffering his perfect water out of the tap, RO water, to a kH of 8. Can't believe it. Madness out there. Must be the virus getting to people's head. Anyhow, so my buddy is going to come over in the next hour or so and install these lights for me, and I'm going to film him climbing over the pond to install these lights. He's an electrician, qualified electrician. I've known him since he was 10 or 11 years old. So yeah, so an exciting day if you're nearly 50 and you're in a midlife crisis moment. Things like LED lights over a pond get you excited. Such is life when you get old. Anyhow, it's getting exciting as well because in Japan now the fish are being harvested. I know Takigawa was one of their ponds started being harvested. Mike sent me some pictures. Yeah, I mean the Rasta koi competition thing, they wouldn't be getting harvest for another month or so, next couple of weeks for some, but generally they'll all be in within the next month or so. So if you're on the Rasta koi forum, you would see that. If you're not on the Rasta koi forum, shame on you. Sign up to the Rasta koi forum and get involved there. And then also if you're a YouTube watcher but you're not subscribing, doubly shame on you. I thank you to everybody who subscribes, but I really need more subscribers. If you guys want to see more content, you got to subscribe. Just sign up to Google. It's free, and subscribe, and hit the notification button and share this video as well. And the more subscribers we get, be good to have a subscriber list of 10,000 subscribers, and that will give me the impetus to do more and more videos. And I know a ton of you guys love it and enjoy it. One or two places I've been to, it's been fun as well. So there's more plans, but I really need the subscribers in. So just a moment to say thank you to everybody, and thank you to all the loyal subscribers who are out there. So yeah, the next time this camera is on, hopefully you would see Richard put it in the lights. So just to show you here the LED lights here, these are the LED lights going in, and yeah, they give you a sunlight rating, so it helps the fish. And some of these fish are going, like this green thing is going. One or two of these yellow things are for sale. If anybody wants any of these karishigoi, they're the yellow-eyed or red-eyed kigoi things. They're very cute, see, but yeah, I got fish coming in from Japan, so if anybody's interested in those, they are cheap, a couple £100 or so, £125, give me a message and you could come pick them up. Alright, peace. So it's Friday the 23rd, I think, of October. Next week, Friday, I'd have been flying to Japan, but that's not happening. So to keep the spirits alive, especially if you're going through middle age, we just installed some new lights here, as you can see. Got them installed last week sometime last week I got them installed. This garden is south facing, so I don't really need a lot of sunlight, but this winter I've decided to feed them until the end of November, Typically I would start finishing now as I'm leaving for Japan, but I'm going to give them an extra month of food, hold the water at 23 Celsius. So I'm going to put these lights are the 200 watt version. So these will help with the color or stop the color from color in the koi deteriorating, especially the Benny plate in that way. So these are on timers, so they'll come on at 6 a.m. and then they will turn off at 2100 p.m. And basically if it's a sunny day I can control it from my phone and I can knock it off on a sunny day because it's south facing garden, so it gets bathed in sun. Today is not so sunny, but you might be able to pick up from the camera or may not, but it's roughly close to looks like close to 20 Celsius anyways. So the fish are in here, they're all doing good. There's a Ueno showa. Sumi is coming on really nice. Funny how Sumi is coming on really nice, and the water is pH is 6.85 and the KH is, well, as soon as I put a drop in it turns, so I'm guessing the KH is about 10 milligrams, 5 to 10 milligrams, but that's all I've been holding it for 2 weeks because I'm around, and the machine controls it in that way. So some people think that if you got soft water with a low KH, then Sumi wouldn't come. Well, this koi is here to tell you the opposite, because the Sumi has come on leaps and bounds in the soft water. And I think it's, if you got quality Sumi, a fish with quality Sumi, and the Sumi is going to come. The Sumi soft water wouldn't hinder that. And in fact, most of the breeders in Japan, South Japan, their waters are soft. So from Momotaro all the way, I think Momotaro there, pH is 7.2. You don't quote me on that. Mike would be able to confirm that to Ueno and those guys there. pH tend to be softer in that way. So koi are all doing good. The air is on. That's how much I run my bottom drain air when it's on. It's on for half an hour a day, and that's all it gets, which is hardly anything in that way. So it pretty much stops. It doesn't create a mushroom on the top. But the koi are looking good. That's a Takigawa. That's my big Takigawa girl there. That's a Matsue via Kitsukoi. All these little things are going, they've been sold. So there's a few koi to come out of here, quite a few I should say. There is 5 or 6 koi leaving this pond, making ready for fish coming in from Japan around Christmas time. They'll come into the country, and by the time they're out of quarantine will be February next year, I would suppose. That's where it's going to be at. So just an update. Thank you to all those who subscribe to our channel, and continue to do so and share the videos if you can. That would be great. I'm feeding 900 grams of feed. It was over a kilo, but I backed it down a bit because I also moved on a fish from here, an 85 centimeter Matsue. I sold it, so that's gone. So I've backed the food down a little bit as the fish is gone, but yeah, there's some new fish coming in town. Out with the old, in with the new. So that was my oldest Matsue. I think she was 6 years old. She was about 84, 85 centimeters. And yeah, so that's an original Yume koi fish that I moved on. So all doing good. There's another Sumi Sankey that's doing really well in soft water. Okay, peace out. Okay, recycle RO time. I'm a bit excited, you could probably tell in my voice. But let me just go through some stuff before I jump on. That's the pH right now, and that is spot on with the Palin test. So right now the RO is off. It will be on at 3 p.m, which, as you can see, in about 40 minutes time. And yeah, so why am I excited? Well, let me just sort of say, in honor of Mike Snaden, hello viewers. Hello viewers, that's what Mike Snaden says. If you have a look at Mike's videos, it always starts with hello viewers. a little bit different to how I start my videos. So anyhow, as you know, I've been running Recycle RO since July. I think Andy has the dates. I'll check my mobile phone, but I think he said it's the 17th when we started the install. But I do think we had some issues. I'm just talking to you and checking my mobile phone, and it was off for a week because he said he ran it a little bit too hard and what have you. So I think, let me just check my phone. You think I would have done this before? If I was a professional I would, but obviously I is not. So I can't find the text. I've got so much messages. Anyhow, yeah, I think it's July the 17th, and I think the bill, the old bill came around June the 20th, so there was probably like, or 22nd, there was probably like a month or so in between old bill to new bill, so there was a month less reading. Severn Trent had decided to put my water bill up to 200. Let's see here. They had put on, I've got my notes here, they had moved it up, I think 244 or something like that a month. Well, having been running Recycle RO solid from, let's just say, end of July all the way through August, all the way through September, all the way through October, and now it's the 12th of November. I haven't been running my Recycle RO for that time, so I've got the bill, and the bill came from Severn Trent. I was looking forward to the bill. Normally I don't look forward to bill, but I wanted to see, does this Recycle RO stuff work as far as number one, reducing my bills. I know it works in as far as giving me perfect, what I class as perfect water, and my teacher Michael Snaden would concur at perfect water. So that's fine. TDS of 80 to 100. Not right now because I'm feeding so much. The TDS is probably 120. KH of 0.5 or 15 milligrams, more like 10 milligrams, and pH of between 6.9 to 7. Right now it's 7. So as far as that goes, that's perfect water. Now, since running Recycle RO in the time that I gave you earlier, sort of like mid to end of July till now, I've used, and I'm looking at my phone, I've used 115,000 litres less of water. 115,000 litres less of water. Now bear in mind, that's not just the pond, okay? That's the house as well. I've got a kid with some issues, so he needs more water, whatever it is. So 115,000 litres less. So that's about 4 months it's been running. And the savings, I'm saving £1.77 a day on my water bill, which equates to, my water bill is going to be cut now. Severn Trent is just doing a final analysis, which I'll get on the video, of sort of like adding what we call my non-returns. So basically stuff that I flush the filter, trickle out, goes into a well that a big container I collect, and I don't put down the pipe, the drains, because there's no drains around here to do that. So I do that manually myself, so they don't charge me for that water. So I'm looking at saving £144 a month. £144 a month. And yet this water bill month is still not as 100% accurate as it will be when they do it in May, because then the Recycle RO will be running totally in that way. So if you want to cut your water bills, get some Recycle RO installed. When I put this in, the main goal was to get the water bill down, because the water bill was high. It was, like I said, 140, 244, 248 something a month. Now it's down to 120. I imagine once they sort of fix the non-partial returns, adjust that in the readings, it will be down to 110, 120. Mind you, there's 5 people, including myself, in our home. 3 kids, well, two young adults and 1 child, and my wife and I. So it's a big house, 5-bedroom house with 4 bathrooms. So, you know, there's a lot more shower, lots more water going on, lots more use. And with teenagers, They have no idea that a bath costs. Some of them have, one of my kids having a bath sometimes twice a day. Forget that you're not supposed to. But anyhow, in that way, it's a great result. So for me, it's a win-win. Recycle RO is a win-win. Now you may argue, well, yeah, whoa, hold up, soldier. What about the cost to replace membranes? What about the cost to when you need to get the membranes clean? Or what about the cost on the pre-filters? Well, you can see the cutaway shot is when I sort of clean the pre-filters, so there's no cost in doing that. There's a bit of time, and you got to power wash it, jet wash it, and I must say, in the winter, cold, it's the worst job in the world. And I'm making some strides to get that change. I've got a trough and I've got some detergent. I'm pre-soaking them in white vinegar. That is not as good. I've ordered something else to try to pre-soak and maybe may cut the power washing time down. So we're hoping that the pre-filters will work that way. But if I need to buy pre-filters, I could buy another set if I wanted, £20 I think for one, or £25 for one. And you know, when I'm not feeding heavy, I'm changing the pre-filters, or cleaning them I should say, at the moment once every 2 weeks, because or today was a bit shorter because there's 1.2 kilos of food going in. I backed the food off a little bit because it was a little bit too much food for the fish, so I envisage you're going to go back to 2 weeks of cleaning time. Once I'm not feeding as heavy as I am feeding right now, then I imagine I'll be cleaning these pre-filters once a month or once every 5 weeks. So really, if you have high water bills and you just want to save some money, I know koi keeping and saving money sounds a bit like a joke, but if you really do want to save some money on your water bill, for those of you like myself that was enforced to by the government to have a water meter, and if I understand well, if it is true, every house in the UK in the next 5 years may go to water meters, and there's some houses in our area in Leicester where there were old style houses, and they've all got letters where meters are being installed right now. So it's not just for new house builds. Eventually they're trying to bring it over the whole of the country. You may say, well, they've been talking about it for 10 years. There's a lot of stuff that the government been talking about for 10 years that hadn't happened, agreed. But with coronavirus and all the things, it seems like they started to motor on certain things because people are working from home and they're getting more done, so the letters are going out. My brother-in-law, who lives close to where I used to live, they're going on a water meter, not by choice, but because they got a letter through the door, and water meter will be installed at their house. It's not a problem, he doesn't keep koi. So really, so I'm excited that you know, the cost that I put into this, it costs a lot of money to get it installed. And if you want to know how much it's installed, don't message me, don't ask me, I don't talk about money in that way. The guy who installed it, as you know, is Andy Finch. So give Andy Finch a call. Finch Filtration Innovation Systems for the elderly. He will sort you out. He will get you a quote. My system is the very first one he did, so he's modified it slightly. I think he's rearranged some stuff on there. So mine was the prototype in that way. Maybe he might come and modify mine. How about that, Andy? So yeah, so really, my wife's happy, I'm happy. The bills have dropped down considerably. To half your bill is really good, and then next year I'm hoping that will even drop down to maybe even £100 to £80 a month in use, so that will be good. So that's really all from me. I don't know if I can hear somebody coming here. So that's all really from me on that water bill side of things, and it seems to have been improving drastically as we speak. So let's get back to the koi. And you can see the koi are all doing well in that way, and there's a few of these yellow things. If anybody is interested in buying those, there's a couple of females. They're quite nice, mango thing. They're quite small, although they're Nisai technically now. They are from Yagenji. I got them from Kitsukoi. They're my son's fish, but he's a uni kid and he wants to. We're trying to make some room for other koi coming in. So yeah, if you would like any of those, I think they're 100 quid a pop. Just send me a message, you can grab one of those. But yeah, the koi are all doing good. They're developing pretty well. They're eating a lot, so as you would know, like people, some are a little bit fatter than others, but once I start cooling things down, I should imagine, as I normally do, once they go through their fasting regime, then things would slow up. This light system here works really well. The fish do ping with this light at night time, but I only run one, which is that one. I don't really run that one. It's only on for effect for the video camera. Generally it's off because the fish congregate more on this side because the feeder is there in that way. So really that's it on that front. See my chili peppers from Trinidad, Scotch bonnet peppers going really well. There's a Kitsukoi, Chris Kitsukoi. If somebody could call Chris Kitsukoi, tell him I'm waiting for my Matsue certificate. I think this fish is now Nisai, but I think it might be Yonsai before I even see a certificate from Kitsukoi. So if somebody get a hold of Kitsukoi and say send the Rastaman his certificate, please. Yeah, so they're all doing really good, and yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned and like and subscribe. Just gonna measure the KH the old-fashioned way, as some people say. They like all my tech, but they like to see the old-fashioned way of doing it. So that's the KH by API test. That's the one. API is pretty good, to be fair, but again, I rather use the Palin test kit. So I'm going to try to do this by hand. So as you can see, there's a sample there. If you, I'm going to put it down now. There you go. Hopefully you can still hear me with all the showers running. If you ever done this, you know that every drop that turns green or blue, I think it's blue, is 1 kH, a kH of 1. So just so you can see where my kH is at. So there's 1 drop going in, and hopefully I can do this without smashing it. Yeah, I did it. So I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but that kH is yellow. So that's pretty much got almost 0 kH in there. There's probably, to be fairness, about 10 milligrams. Oops, where am I? Yeah, about 10 milligrams of kH, if the camera can pick it up. It's not totally yellow. Let me put another drop in so you can see what total yellow looks like. So that's drop 1, which got it sort of greenish. Sorry for the terrible camera work, but trying to do 2 jobs there with one while filming. Dylan's going out with his mum, so he's not here. Let's see if I can do this. Alright, so that's 2, and as you can see, it didn't change. And it's yellow, so there's probably like hardly any KH in here. Am I afraid that my pond would crash? Not really. I've run it down to 6.85. I turned the pump off and let it run. The dosing pump, which is the solenoid here, I turned that off so it wasn't filling up at all, and let it run down to where I couldn't get any KH reading whatsoever, and it was fine. So let's see what the KH is at here. And you can see that's where the KH is at. It's probably beginning to drop. I imagine you would probably see, I'll probably see that the pump will go off because the KH is almost non-existent. So once this reading goes down to 6.97, the KH will drop out totally, and it will trigger the tank that you just saw, this tank here, and that will begin to let some fluid into the pond. That will bring the KH up back to 0.5, which is about 15 milligrams in that one. As you can see, it's dropping steadily because the KH is pretty now on its way of being almost expired in that way. Okay, hope that makes sense, but don't worry about, well, would the fish survive, would the fish live, how could you run it scientifically? You can't do it. I did it with my discus where I didn't get no KH. I've seen it in the ponds in Japan and they work fine. So low KH is not a problem. The bacteria will adjust. You may get a small nitrite spike at first, but right now I don't get any nitrite reading. The nitrite and ammonia is so low, the Palin test cannot even pick it up. So there's no point in me wasting a reagent tablet because the Palin test wouldn't pick it up. When I put it in the dip color test, it doesn't even move. So that's how low it is. So food for thought to you boys out there. Peace out. Okay, good morning. It's the 13th, November the 13th. my recycle RO is running. Let me swing the camera around so you can see it in that way. There you go. So that's the top membrane. So I'm getting about six and a bit liters of water, and that's the waste, which is pond water waste, not tap water waste, in that way. So once this video goes out the next couple of days, I'm going to edit it. Sorry about the backdrop, that's my cleaning equipment for the pond. So it's been a bit of a rainy day, but as far as it goes with the bill concerned, I'm still waiting for Severn Trent to amend my bill to reflect the partial non-returns, which I imagine will take the bill down another bit. So looking at the figures again on my phone, it's looking like I'm going to be saving on this run of the water bill £605. Then the real saving will be next year, and so on. Now, a little bit, Recycle RO will cost money to install like anything else. I don't think if you do a koi hobby, you can never do the koi hobby on a cheap. It's going to cost you some form or the other, whether it's electric, whether it's solar panels, whether you want a heat pump, whether you want a gas boiler, all those things are going to cost you. You got to look at the outlay and how long it will take to recoup your money. I think probably the longest, you may agree, would be solar panels. Eventually I'll get solar panels, and I think they're about 10 grand or so, solar panels, before you can start seeing your money back in that way. So it all, horses for courses, all that sort of things, but for me, just seeing my water bill drop considerably was a great thing. Seeing the direct debit being amended, and it's going to be amended again, it's another good thing, and it's all a step in the right direction. Okay, the outlay probably cost me a decent fish or tosai in that way, but hey, how many fish have we bought and we had to sell on the cheap? This equipment is still running. I managed to get hold of some brand new membranes as well from a buddy of mine who, because of his company, he gets them dirt cheap. So I've got a spare set of membranes in the garage. I've also got spare sets of micron filters. It's all part of the consumables in the hobby. It's a little bit like also the resin vessels. You could buy the vessels, but you got to buy the bits for the inside, and all those things cost, So, but for me, it's a win-win. If you have high water bills, Recycle RO is the way. If you're living on your own and your water bill is just where it's at and you could do with it, then the outlay may not justify you. But again, with my family being a family of 5, seeing that savings of over £120 a month, I'll find the exact figure once they amend it, a month is a huge savings on our side of it, in that way. So big up to Andy Finch and Finch Filtration Innovation Systems. Did I get that right? May have done. So if you want to get that equipment installed, give Andy a call. Don't message me and ask me how much mine cost and what did you pay, because I wouldn't answer. You'll just get a no reply, because mine again was a prototype, and he's then amended stuff, changed things, learned from mine. Mine was the sort of the pioneer of it, in a sense, and he's doing things a little bit different, so costs will change. Also, my pond is probably bigger than most, although it's not a massive pond. It's still 6,500 gallons. Most ponds, I think, on average is 4,000 gallons or something like that. So you got a smaller pond, you're gonna need a smaller system. You don't need something like mine in that way. So if you got any questions, ask Andy Finch. All right, and there's nothing to show you in the fish house. The fish are eating like crazy. 8 feeds a day, and pretty soon, coming on to mid-November now, I'll probably be aiming to drop temperatures down and stuff like that. So that's all from me for now. God bless.
thank you for watching the Rastakoi video. Please make sure you like and subscribe, share the video, and also put a comment as well.